Thank you to those of you who are able to join us live today, and I especially want to thank our presenters. My name is Dina Johnson. I'm with the College Board, and I am joined today by three amazing presenters from schools, from the Davies School here in Rhode Island, and from Eleanor Roosevelt High School in Prince George's County, Maryland. And we're really here today to talk about pre-AP and AP. There's an incredible opportunity this summer for teachers and administrators to take AP and pre-AP professional development at no cost. And this is offered in conjunction with the Rhode Island Department of Ed and the College Board. And so I am going to turn it over to my friend Liz Texera from the Rhode Island Department of Ed, just to talk a little bit about RIDE's perspective on the professional development that's being offered this summer.
Thank you so much, Dina, and thank you all for being here today. We are thrilled to offer this opportunity to educators and administrators in Rhode Island. As Dina mentioned, we know that, again, Rhode Island has been working very hard over the past 10 years to increase both participation and performance in AP courses. As you also know, to teach an AP course, you have to go through separate training through College Board. So again, we've been able to work with the College Board this past year in this environment of trying to make sure that we are accelerating learning for our students coming out of the COVID-19 pandemic. This is one of the best opportunities that we can make available for our schools and our educators so that they can actually teach these high quality, rigorous, externally validated courses. AP is an early college opportunity that is actually making a difference here, specifically in Rhode Island. We recently did a study with the REL, the Regional Education Laboratories. It's an education research group that the federal government actually pays for. And it shows that students here in Rhode Island who are taking advantage of AP dual or concurrent enrollment opportunities are actually statistically significantly more likely to graduate from high school and statistically significantly more likely to actually matriculate and show up on a college campus. We are doubling down on early college because we know that our students need it. We've also, again, our data this past year was fantastic. We are leading the nation in 10-year improvement rates in both participation and performance for AP exams. So making sure that our educators and our administrators have access to this high quality, rigorous training, this content from College Board experts is one of the best ways that we can use some of our funds to make sure that we're increasing these opportunities for our kiddos. So again, I'm not going to go on at length. This is one of my favorite topics, so I'm happy to talk to any of you off channel about this, but we are so excited to have you here, and we are so grateful to College Board for making these opportunities available on such late notice. Again, we were very excited to secure funding to actually offer these professional development opportunities, and we are really excited to make sure that as many educators and administrators as possible in Rhode Island are able to take advantage of that in this first year of implementation. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Dina. And again, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, Liz, do you just want to mention the professional learning credits?
Oh gosh, thank you so much. So one thing that, again, educators in Rhode Island, thank you so much, Dina. Woo. One thing that educators in Rhode Island are able to get as a part of this opportunity is professional learning units, PLUs. So all educators in the state are required to do kind of an ongoing professional learning cadence. This is an opportunity for you to get those PLU credits this year. So if you are looking to kind of bone up your PLU certification, if you are looking to make sure that you're taking advantage of robust professional development, this is one of those RIDE approved ways to do so. Thank you so much, Gina, for that reminder. I apologize for missing it.
No problem. So let's first just set the stage with pre-AP. So there are several pre-AP courses that are going to be offered. We invited two pre-AP ELA teachers, Mike Fox and Hilda DiCarvalho from the Davies. The Davies actually has been piloting pre-AP since, Hilda, what year did it start? 2000 and, in my COVID brain, I can't remember the year.
So ELA 2 started in 2019, 2020, that wonderful school year. And I believe ELA 1 started a year or two before that.
That sounds right. So prior to actually launching pre-AP and making pre-AP available to all schools in the state, Davies was one of the schools that was part of our pilot. So we thought, regardless of whether your school offers pre-AP, we wanted to offer 4 pre-AP readiness workshops this summer. These are one-day workshops. They cover the gamut. So the first opportunity is pre-AP ELA, text take center stage. It basically concentrates on 3 areas in pre-AP English: reading closely, valuing evidence, and noticing language choices. So you can hear from that description, hopefully, that regardless of whether or not you are offering pre-AP in your school, there is an opportunity to learn more about the skills that students really should have in a high school English course. The second opportunity is pre-AP mathematics, developing mathematical knowledge within a learner-centered classroom. Also a day workshop. This is going to be focused on engaging a learner-centered mathematics classroom through what we call shared principles. So these are the ideas that are found throughout all of the pre-AP courses. But again, regardless of whether you're offering pre-AP in your school, these are good, solid content and skills that students need to learn and have. So it will focus on close observation and analysis, higher order questioning, and evidence-based writing. The third option will be pre-AP science, building conceptual understanding using analytical reading and writing. So hopefully you're already sort of starting to see a theme emerge here about these pre-AP workshops. The pre-AP science is also emphasizes using analytical reading and writing. Participants are going to practice those pre-AP shared principles. So there's a lot of consistency between each of these courses, really to make sure we promote understanding of content area text, scientific reasoning, and justification. And then the fourth content option is a pre-AP social studies course, fostering disciplinary skills. So this will focus on evaluating evidence, incorporating evidence, and explaining historical and geographical relationships. So each one of these pre-AP courses is centered on a content area, but the content is really meant to build students' analytical, critical thinking, reading and writing skills. There is one final pre-AP option, and that is a workshop for leadership, so for administrators. And it's really, if you're interested in learning more about implementing pre-AP, or if you just want to integrate some of the pre-AP instructional principles. So let's say you don't have pre-AP in your school, but you want to learn how you can bolster the rigor of your courses, that would be a good workshop to take. It will help leaders look at student learning gaps and why grade level content really is essential for classroom instruction. So that's, I'll sort of stop right there. Those are your pre-AP options. And we've of course invited Hilda and Mike today to really talk about what pre-AP looks like at their school. One sort of thing I should be really clear about, pre-AP is for all students. So even though it's called pre-AP, and I'm sure I don't want to steal Hilda or Mike's thunder, but even though it's called pre-AP, it's not just for students who are interested in taking AP courses. It really is meant to be a substitute for, in this case, English 9 or English 10. You would offer pre-AP and all of your English students would take the pre-AP course. So I will stop right there, and Hilda and Mike, I will turn it over to you to talk about pre-AP at the Davies.
Mike, do you want to go first?
Were we going to go over the demographics and the the overview of the school?
Oh yeah, I can.
First?
Yeah, I can do that first. So
Okay.
Davies is a technical high school. We are a Title I school. We have about 905 students. As of right now, about half of the students in 9th grade and 10th grade take pre-AP ELA, either 1 or 2. So Mike, you want to start talking about the curriculum and then I'll jump in? Okay.
Yeah. So I started teaching it in November after some classes got shuffled around, but I was really excited to do it because I had taught AP literature and I thought it was a great course. And pre-AP, when I looked over the materials, it looked like it fed directly into AP Lit in a way that would really prepare the students' minds to do that kind of work. And I wish that I knew that my students were coming in with that foundation when I was teaching AP Lit. So it's a really good pathway from that course into AP Lit and then into college, obviously. I'd also taught AP Language, and the pre-AP class paves the way for that one too. And what I found really interesting was that it didn't just separate the pathways into, okay, now we're doing stuff that's going to prepare you for AP Language, and now we're going to do stuff that does AP Lit. It blended it a lot. So for instance, one of my favorite units in the materials suggested was a unit on persuasion in literature. Right? So AP Language is a lot about rhetoric and persuasion. And I liked that the students were reading literature and thinking about how the characters in the literature were developed through persuasion, right? So that you were using both skills and both pathways into language and lit in the same unit. And I'd never really thought to do that before. And it changed the way that I taught literature. I don't know, it gave me something new to do that refreshed my own teaching of particular books. So I usually read the novel Kindred with my students by Octavia Butler. And I didn't realize it before, but there were a lot of moments in the text when characters were having to persuade each other of things. And it kind of opened up a new way for me to teach it. I like that.
Oh, sorry, Mike.
I'll just finish this thought. I like that I didn't have to just like throw out my other stuff. It really complemented what I was already doing and made me think in new ways about it.
And they get to look at that persuasion from different angles too. You know, we start with rhetoric, and then you're looking at it in articles that you're reading, and then you're looking at it in literature. And students are really good at trying to convince people of things. So they really enjoy that unit. When I asked the students what they really liked about pre-AP, they said they loved how they got to use similar skills all year long. They thought it made them better writers. They were able to read and analyze better. And I thought, wow, that's really profound coming from, 10th graders. But it just speaks to how wonderful the curriculum really is.
Yeah, so I guess just like stepping back for me, it provides such a great framework in a good pace, like you said, and that it's easy to use.
Yeah, that's a big thing for both of us. Yeah, we didn't have, I know one of the questions was, what questions did we have when we had to implement this? And there really wasn't. The first year I implemented it without any curriculum. That was before, it had gone out to schools. And there were a couple questions, and I feel like as soon as the curriculum was handed to us, I said, oh yeah, okay, that's where they're going. And I understood. So even if this is something that you get in September, you would still be able to implement it pretty easily, which is reassuring because nobody wants to be very confused when you're about to have 26 to 30 kids sitting in front of you,
I think you and Mike really hit on what pre-AP is. It really is focused on skills that students need to succeed, not just in an AP course, but in college and careers. And it really is just meant to be that grade level instruction. So it gives all students, regardless, it meets kids where they are, regardless of where they are, it gives them the opportunity to really experience and grow by receiving grade level instruction. So, like Mike, I think especially you were sort of hitting on, it's not a curriculum. It does include these robust model lessons, but you have complete flexibility. So you could design your own instruction based on that framework. And I think the sort of the only other piece that I would really mention is those, and I think you guys sort of touched on it, and I touched on it at the beginning, is those shared principles is what really drives and connects all of the pre-AP courses. So whether it's a pre-AP math or science or an English or social studies course, it's really that close observation and analysis, that higher order questioning, the evidence-based writing, the academic conversation, and that's what unites those courses. And I think Mike, you and Hilda both were sort of talking about how your students saw that connection between the pre-AP courses that they were taking. Thank you both. I think we'll shift to Troy right now to talk about AP, the AP Capstone program, and specifically the AP that we will be offering this summer, the 5-day AP seminar, Summer Institute. So Troy, take it away.
All right, thank you. First off, I just want to say pre-AP sounds awesome. We don't have that in my school. So I'm sitting here listening going, oh, that sounds cool. Oh, wait, I could do that. It reminds me of an old College Board program when I first started teaching eons ago called Pace Setter, where you had like a book and like if anybody's that old, I am.
I'm that old too, Troy.
Pace Setter was fantastic.
It was. But
I think it has a lot of those same elements that you could work with this book, and the kids liked it. It was applicable. It was real world. So I think what's cool about the pre-AP, what you guys were talking about, is the fact that leads, I mean, the connecting piece to seminars right there. And so when you talk about AP seminar as part of the AP Capstone programs, they have AP seminar and AP research, usually offered junior year, senior year. Lots of schools recently, according to College Board data, is offering 10 and 12 now, which is something that we're actually piloting potentially the next couple of years. Ours is an elective. We'd like to get it for credit as an English course, maybe. And I know some schools out west are doing it as a history course, which is an interesting other argument. But yeah, I think pre-AP thing sounds really cool. I'm at Eleanor Roosevelt High School. I've been there for 20 years. We're about 15 minutes outside of Washington, D.C. I like your school of 900. I think that's fantastic. We're at $3,000, and which I thought was large until I met some schools in Florida and like Brooklyn Tech, which is part of the pilot, which at like $9,000 or some crazy number. Like, so ultimately we're about 70 to 75%, close to 80% minority, about 40% free and reduced lunch. We are a science and tech magnet school, although our AP Capstone program and the science and tech school are slightly separate, even though I do tend to poach a handful of students and bring them over to our side of the world. So that's my school. I've been there 20 years. I'm a recovering AP Lang teacher. I love Lang. But one seminar crossed my path in 2012 that I'm all seminar all day now. Well, except for my research class, but I'm AP Capstone all day in some context. In 2012, we were part of the pilot program of 17 schools worldwide, and it came across my desk as, here's something cool and new. What is it? We don't know, but you're going to be trained. Sounds cool. All they knew was the words global education, and I went, yes, I'm in. 21st century skills, global education, I'm right on board. And so the course itself was started with 15 handpicked students that I picked back in 2012. It's like, you're coming with me and you're coming with me and you're coming with me. And now we have over 100, and it's grown organically, ultimately. And I'll speak to that in a second, but there's myself who teaches seminar and research. And then I just got a new teacher a couple of years ago to teach seminar. Now we co-teach research. And so we work with a class. We usually have about 60, between 40 and 60 in seminar then research at any given time. Pandemic has been a little problematic, but I've got about 100 kids who are trying to vie for spots to get in for next year. So the reason the kids understand, the reason the kids love the course is it's all word of mouth. And so for us, the benefits of the course are really this idea of the skills. Like, what are these 21st century skills that we're really looking at? And I know the College Board has taken this really serious, and you can see it in those pre-AP classes. That's what I think has been brilliant about some of the redesign of what the College Board has done, is these redesigned courses that are focusing on what the skill sets of the students really need. And according to lore, the College Board asked, which apparently the College Board is made up of a bunch of colleges, which I didn't know. Just thought it was a name. Who knew? And they went and asked the colleges, like, where are students struggling from high school to college? And they said, here are the skill sets. And the College Board said, let's figure this out. And bam. And I think what's brilliant about it is this thing that I sell the course on is not only are we creating these students who understand things, so we're creating competencies here. And so they go through pre-AP and they get a set of competencies, and they go through seminar and research, and they get these set of competencies. And those competencies I think are fantastic. However, I think the competencies are all good, but without the confidence that's been built within those, that's where we lose it. And so I think some of the argument about of AP courses that are mainly content driven, and I'm not disparaging them, we're better, but they're content, and you have and it's great. And again, Lang teacher, and I love the idea of the content driven courses, but when you get to apply these skill sets, I think that this is where you're really creating the sense of confidence that the kids go, I don't have to know that. I know how to do the skills to get me to understand that at a deeper level. So when they leave our school and they leave the seminar class, they walk into college and the professor's like, oh, I want a 4-page paper on Monday. And our kids go like, yay, how many sources you want? And what citation style would you like that in? And they go like, what, how do you know that? And they go, seminar and research. And that's where we're really coming from with the courses. And the course is structured in a little bit of an unusual way. We teach the skill sets in the fall, and then we apply them in the spring. And so if you're looking at the content area of the course, you're really only looking at a half-year course. And then in the spring, it's all assessments, which sounds crazy and heavy, but it's really not. It's a chance to give these kids the skill sets and then say, okay, let's start utilizing them. And then we're going to assess you in a really nice way and give you time to do these projects. So we have 3 major assessments in the spring. We have a team project, and then we have an individual project, and then we have the traditional sort of end of course exam. And they really just test, can you do this? And at what level can you do it? The end of course exam is 2 parts. The second part of it is a synthesis essay, sort of like Lang. And then the first part of it is, can you identify a main argument? What's the line of reasoning? And how effective is the evidence? And I know these really, really well because I'm doing the AP reading right now, and I'm grading end of course exam part A, and I've read 400 and something of these already. But it's fantastic to see the trends of what the kids can do during the reading, which, by the way, is like the best sort of professional development you can do, because it gets you a little bit more insight. So the course is set up in this really interesting way of like skills in the fall, assessments in the spring. But the thing that I love the most about the course, and this is, I think this is where Mike, like you were talking about this a little bit, is it's sometimes when you've taught for 20 years, like myself, I can only teach Romeo and Juliet so many times. Like Romeo sucks, Juliet just like, come on, I can't anymore with you people. And you lose that sort of passion, right? Mike, you were talking about this a little bit. I think of like, how many times I got to talk about how stupid Romeo is when he's on the balcony because he's a stalker and he's creepy and like it's just no. But to re-envision the way you're teaching. And so I also train new teachers from the local university, and I'm always trying to figure out better ways to do things. And I think you hit on that, Mike, is like this course allows you to see your content in a different way, and then be able to apply that in a way that is almost re-inspiring.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Troy. Thank you, Hilda. Thank you, Mike. Liz, were there questions that either came in before or ones in the chat that we can answer today?
No questions really in the chat, just comments. And honestly, you all did such a wonderful job answering the questions that came in. Most of the questions were along the lines of like, what is pre-AP? Like, why should I take this course if, my school maybe doesn't offer pre-AP yet? And a lot of curiosity about the seminar course. So yeah, I think you all did such a wonderful job. I guess as one final thing, I'm just going to screen share if you're wondering, like, where do you go to sign up for these courses? So you're just going to go to the Prepare RI website, which is, are you seeing my screen?
Yes.
Okay, prepareri.org. Scroll over to the For Schools section, and then you're going to go down to the bottom, and we have a whole advanced placement page here. So right here where it says register for this session, well, this video is posted. And then you can just click through here to read about the different offerings and also just register directly right here on the site. So it's super easy. If you have any questions about this beforehand, all the way at the bottom, that's my email. So I'll be looking out for questions there as well.
Thanks, Liz. Hilda, Mike, Troy, thank you so much for joining us today. I will speak on behalf of RIDE and say thank you. And to everybody either who joined us live or who is joining us virtually, please do reach out if you have any questions. I should mention we're also doing an AP Computer Science Principles 5-day AP Summer Institute, but it's really going to be done in 4 days. And we're also doing AP Government and Politics as well. And then one other opportunity for administrators, there's Achieving Equity in AP, a 1-day workshop. So thank you for joining us. Please do go to the website to register and learn more about these courses. We're so grateful for your time today. And with that, thank you.